Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Community Unitarian Universalist Church here in Plano, Texas. My name is Reverend Dr. Aija Duelm. I am the minister of this congregation. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And I welcome all of you here in person or joining us online. It is so good to be with you this morning. We are Unitarian Universalists, and we welcome all who come through our doors. Thank you for wearing, for members who are wearing the member name tags that we moved further away. It is one way we practice welcome to those who are coming through these doors who don't know us. We help them to get to know us so that they feel welcomed and embraced in this community. We are diverse, and we are very diverse in terms of our faith traditions and things that we believe in. We welcome theists, we welcome non-theists, we welcome people who believe very different things about the world and the universe and how we fit in this world, because we do not hold one creed that we demand for all of the members to adhere. We're open to different faiths, and if you see these banners behind me, they are representing very different religious traditions that we draw wisdom from, and we honor and respect those traditions. We do this because we are a covenantal faith, not a creedal faith. Our religion is based on a covenant among us, its people, its members. And this covenant is about the way we walk together with each other. It's a promise about the way we will behave, the way we will engage one another, because we are known as people who respect one another and seek to engage the world with care and justice in mind. We come together to share joys and sorrows, we share milestones, and today we have a very special event. We will celebrate bridging ceremony, something we haven't done for quite a long time, to celebrate one of our youth who is entering adulthood, graduating, becoming a young adult. You'll see it later. But we also know that as a covenantal faith, it's not always easy for us to live in covenant all the time. There's plenty of pain in the world, and sometimes our behavior can add to it. Sometimes we break covenant. As Unitarian Universalists, we hold one another accountable and we call one another back into the covenant when covenant gets broken. Rumi, a 13th century poet, Islamic scholar and Sufi mystic who was born in Khwarezmian Empire, which was the Turco-Persian Empire at the time, wrote these words: "Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. It doesn't matter. Ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times. Come, yet again, come." Wherever you are on your journey, you're welcome here. Call to worship comes from words by Riddell. Come, come, whoever you are. Do you hear that voice calling you, calling us? The voice which calls us together here today in this room, made holy by our presence and by the sacred breath we share in our singing and speaking and silence. That voice which calls us to remember that we are not alone, and that we are inextricably linked to all other life, woven into the vast tapestry of existence, of which we are a powerful, integral, and holy part. And just as we have been called together here today, we act as the voice, the heart, the hands of another call. The call to walk with the wanderers, sing and dance with the worshipers, proclaim the memory of those who have taken their leave, wrap the despairing and the broken in the arms of love and community, and hold the hands of all of us who have broken our vows and call us back again and again to the covenant and work of justice, humility, and steadfast faithfulness. For this we are here together today. So, my friends, come, yet again, come and let us worship together. We will begin by lighting our chalice.
This chalice is a symbol of both the heritage of our past and the light of hope within this church, and today it will be lit by Joyce Thompson.
We gather this morning in a sacred place, kindling a fire that burns here in our chalice and in our hearts. We gather to honor our covenant and engage in congregational life, doing the necessary work to ensure that this community thrives. We gather together as a people of faith, guided by love, a love that burns as bright as the flame in our chalice. We light this chalice, as we have done so many times before, with the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action.
A covenant is the promise we make to one another about the way we will walk together as a community, as a congregation. So please join me in reminding ourselves of this promise. Love is the part of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another. Our reading today is the Congregational Behavioral Covenant. This covenant for all members was adopted by our membership at the Congregational meeting of Community Unitarian Universalist Church on January the 25th, 2004. It reads, "We, the members and friends of Community Unitarian Universalist Church, will reflect and embody our UU principles by holding ourselves to the following ideals: to treat others with genuine respect, to practice moral and mannered behavior, to be welcoming and open and honest with ourselves and sharing with others, to strive towards consensus, to deal with conflict directly, face to face, voice to voice, and to improve ourselves, our process, and our policies."
If you have ever been on a road trip with children, you may have encountered a question once or twice or maybe more. Are we there yet? And then if you come up with some smart answers and tell them that they can't ask that question for the next 6 hours, then 5 minutes later you hear, "Has it been 6 hours yet?" You know what I'm talking about. But when we are on the journey, we are on the journey. And it reminds me of how it is with our covenant, that it's a journey that is ongoing. I've said it multiple times today that we are a covenantal faith, which means that we're not a creedal faith. We don't have one creed, but we have covenants that hold us together. They are aspirational descriptions of how we want to be in the world. They are ways of norming the culture of our congregations to where love, inclusivity, and kindness. Every Sunday we recite our covenant, the promises that we make to one another about how we will be as a community of faith. We say together, love is the spirit of this church, right? But what does it mean to be a covenantal faith? Covenant is not the 21st century's invention. It is old and ancient. It is part of the Torah. It is part of the Bible, where God made covenant and promises with God's people. When early Puritans came to America, they formed a new type of church that was based in this old, ancient form of covenant that God formed with God's people. Because they knew that their survival depended on mutual cooperation, they also wanted a different church from the one they knew from their origin countries in Europe. The churches that required everyone to subscribe to a certain set of beliefs and had a system of hierarchy, and the hierarchy had a certain powers given to it. They did their best to be different, and they wrote the Cambridge Platform of Church Discipline in 1648 in Cambridge, Massachusetts. This is what it said. "We pledge to walk together in the ways of truth and affection, as best we know them now, or may learn them in the days to come, that we and our children may be fulfilled, and that we may speak to the world of words and actions of peace and goodwill." We inherited this Cambridge Platform with its covenant and also with its congregational polity. Not as much as the beliefs, because mostly Puritans were Calvinists, and we kind of didn't like those beliefs. But we still hold their polity, where we, the people, govern our churches. And over time, congregations have adopted new wording to reflect their own covenants. In 1894, the Unitarian Church of Evanston, Illinois, adopted the covenant that was written by its minister, Reverend James Villa Blake. It is found in where's the book? In this hymnal as the number 473. And see if you recognize it. "Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another." Familiar? Very. A survey that was conducted 10 years ago showed that a little more than 10% of all Unitarian Universalist congregations use this form, adapted version of this form of a covenant, us including. Other congregations use covenant wording that was written by Griswold Williams, And other ones use the one that was written by Charles Gordon Ames. And they are all in this book, 471, 472, if you want to look at the wording that they use. In today's reading, you heard one more covenant that is part of our congregation, our behavioral covenant. It was adopted in 2004 when Reverend Priscilla Richter was here as an interim minister. She came here after Community Church had experienced a difficult time. And together as a congregation, you created this covenant to help all of us to have a more thorough and current articulation of how we intend to be in relationship with one another. But how do these covenants work? How do we use them? When a person joins the congregation, they sign a book. But what they really sign is they agree to follow the covenant that is in this congregation. When in the classroom setting, when we start a new class, at the very beginning of the class, we create a covenant about how we will be in this class together. Boards review their covenant at the very beginning of the year that they serve. After they elect new members and they join the board, they review. So be aware, that's what you will be reviewing, those who will be coming on the board. But what about these congregation-wide behavioral covenants? When was the last time you read it? And then most importantly, are these living documents among us? Are we making them an active part of our lives? And so the question comes, what do we do when a covenant is broken? How do we repair and reform our community? When I was a manager at the children's camps during the summer at U-Bar-U, one of the traditions that made these camps very unique and special and mostly very enjoyable for everyone at the camp was that on the very first day of the camp, children created a covenant with each other. They wrote their own. One of the things that went on this covenant is oops and ouch. They established a way to be able to let others know when their behavior, their words have hurt them. They could say, ouch. And when the person realizes they've been the ones who've said the wrong thing or done the wrong thing that hurt somebody else, they could have the oops. They could apologize and then come back into the covenant with one another. Sounds pretty simple, right? So let's think about our own experiences. What happens when a covenant is broken? And if you think long enough, you probably know some heartbreaks in relationships, some friendships upended. We're not always willing to admit when we made a mistake. And we may also have experienced that forgiveness does not come easily. So what about this church? What happens here when a covenant is broken? When someone comes to a meeting unprepared, when someone cross-talks during discussion, do we call them on it? Do we point that out? Or do we ignore it because we don't want to get confrontational or be in conflict? It really varies depending on the personalities. But unfortunately, more often than not, we ignore the behavior. And when we do this more than once, the covenant no longer binds us together. Sometimes we allow the behavior for so long that it becomes too big to manage, and then we end up looking for a disruptive behavior policy to help us. Ignoring the behavior in the interest of keeping the peace and using the policy only when the behaviors are extreme robs us of the opportunity to grow together in relationship, to learn forgiveness and how to apologize. I believe that we can become better at calling those who have broken the covenant back into covenant with us. And we can agree when a mistake has been made that we are going to begin again in love. The reality is that when a covenant is broken, it takes a long time to heal the wounds that it causes. And these are not overnight fixes. In this congregation's 50-year history, there are a number of times that the covenant was broken. Some of these experiences have been very difficult for everyone and have taken a long time to recover and heal. But you have found ways to stay together and build again. Today, we are looking at our religious education program. After this service, we will have our town hall and to see whether we can rebuild this program that has been dwindling in these last few years. There are many reasons why this program is where it is, and we are not the only congregation in this situation. Nationwide, religious education programs in UU congregations have seen the decline in the enrollment by 2% every year over the last decade. So if you think about 10 years ago, almost 50,000 were involved in our religious education program. And last year, it was only 20,000. That's a significant decline in numbers. And then here locally, where we live in Plano, this fall, Plano ISD is closing 4 schools because of declining number of students. The number has decreased by 7,700 in a year of children. There are not that many out there. These numbers, while they seem alarming, we do have families who come and visit us. And then the question is, do we see them? Do we welcome them? And do we offer them a place to connect with us and learn and find this amazing faith? As we think about rebuilding our religious education program, I invite us to consider 2 things. First, to draw on our creativity and open ourselves up to imagine ways to build a program that includes people of all ages. Imagine how we can do a multi-generational family ministry that is welcoming, respects the wisdom of all ages, from the very young and new to life to those who have many years of experience. Imagine building a program that offers opportunities for all to play, to laugh, to learn, practice love, and discover the wonder. And secondly, when we build this program, if we decide to do this, because we have the option not to do it this year, it is all of our responsibility to decide what to do, because we don't have anyone else. Remember, we are congregational polity. We don't have anyone else who's going to come and do it for us. It's us who's going to either do it or not do it, and it's fine if we decide not to do it this year. But if we do decide to do it, I invite us to make this decision in love and with covenant at the center. Reverend Frank Clarkson once said, "We humans are promise-making creatures and promise-breaking creatures too. We make mistakes, we let ourselves and others down. We are human. We mess up, which is why we need promises, because they remind us of how we want to be and how we intend to act, of what we owe to one another." Covenants are the glue, is the glue that hold us together. And recovenanting makes living in the community together possible. So are we there yet? We're on the journey. Yes, we're working on it.